then also, I guess this Adele House in Coffs Harbour where you're admitted, and you attended for a lot of your rehabilitation. The fact that that's now, I guess, the setup for a lot of the work you're doing with providing that legal advice and support for other victims of abuse.
Yeah, for sure. We've actually changed it recently to Warriors Advocacy. I know it's just PR people wanted that done, but 100%. Adele House was one of these places. You know, I went to Adele 4 years clean. I didn't need a rehab for the drug stuff because I've done a lot of work, and especially through trauma counselling. But I needed Adele for living problems because I didn't know how to live. So I went there with the intentions of learning how to live, like how to cope in society. You know, it's funny because when I was leaving there, I guess I was the most qualified person there because they offered me the general manager's job. I said, "Oh, we'd love you." They had like a bit of a gathering. They said, "Look, the owners," they said, we would, you know, we wouldn't often do this, but because you're just coming out, but we're willing to offer you the general manager's job, and we'll give you a company car and a place to live." And I, you know, I thanked them. I said, "You know, I've got this purpose I've got to chase, and it's bigger than Adele House, you know." And what a privilege! What a privilege that people could see me in that light to offer me that job, you know. And I said no. I knocked it back, and then you know, and Coffs Harbour, you know, I live there. I call it Coffs Harbour because every third car up there's a cop. It's just the most overpopulated place with police. Fortunately, I got left alone by them. But yeah, I've got, you know, I lived there for 2 years. I lived there for 2 years. It was like Mount Druitt by the sea. There's more Mount Druitters live there than fucking Mount Druitt. And but I had a nice, yeah, I set it up. I set the Voice of a Survivor up at the time on a coffee table, on a barbecue table on my desk. I didn't know how to fucking use it, but we really grew. Yeah, you know, and even that business, you know, I've got people in there. I'm all about growth. So my general manager, Letitia Campbell, big shout out to Letitia. She's a little legend. She started with us as a receptionist. Now she's our general manager, and I'm all about that. You know, improving people's lives. You know, we give her the skills she went through. Like, I know if she left now, she's on her, you know, resume, she's got general manager. She's been a general manager for 3 years of a company, you know, that employs 22 people. So I'm all about that, improving the lives of people, whether it's survivors or people who work for me, or, you know, I've got a PA, Beth, as I'm all about improving their lifestyle too, and giving them skills. And I think for this work you do and the people you're engaging with, that's just the natural fruition. It just comes naturally. You get improved by these people, you get empowered by these people.
And I guess one thing about that, you look at businesses, and in order to be successful in any business, you kind of need to have that element of, you know, advantage over your competitors, or, you know, doing something differently, right? And I think when you look at what you were doing, essentially, none of all these abuse victims in prison, they wouldn't want to talk to anyone else, would they? They don't want to.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because they don't look. These are people who've been severely burnt and trod on by the system itself. Lawyers in particular. Lawyers, man, I work with a lot of lawyers, and they laugh at me. I say, "You're fucking leeches. You're fucking worse than used car salesmen," because a lot of them can't be trusted, and it's all about the bottom line. It's about the dollar. What we do in the work we do, we make sure that our clients are being treated with dignity and respect. And to come through us, if they were to go through a lawyer directly, it would cost them twice as much. We negotiate in volume. So we say to lawyers, "Okay, we've got 20 clients here. You're not going to rob them. You're not going to rip them off. You're going to do things our way, or we'll just take them to your competitor."
Yeah.
And that comes in, like, we work on a trauma-informed basis. Like, we're not having, like, I sat through someone's, the other day, I had a client come and see me and work with a lawyer, and I heard how the lawyer spoke to the client. I rang my general manager, said, "We're not working with that firm no more." So I don't like how that solicitor was talking to that client. I don't like it. I don't approve of it. And she was talking to that girl like she was a piece of shit. And I said, "No, no." And then the general manager of that law firm, I said, "Mate, well, it's going to work like this. You either sack that lawyer or we'll move our work in." I said, "Because that's not acceptable. And that law is a reflection of your management skills, because you should never allow, surely you've sat through, and, you know, surely you know how that lawyer operates." And she said, I'll try to rectify. I said, yeah, rectify it. You can rectify it now. I said, but we'll give you a break for a while because we want an assurance from your firm that that lawyer's going to treat that client with the dignity and respect, because that's big to me. You know, I want my clients to feel heard. I want my clients to feel safe. I want them to just, know that they can trust again. And that client rings me and just said, wow, Russell, I'm so blown away, because I let that client hear how I talked to that general manager. And it's really important, when it comes to, how much they pay, I reckon by coming through us directly, maybe they'd pay around about half what they normally pay lawyers. And I think, and that's, once again, we negotiate. We say they'll get an invoice, and I'll jump on and say that's way out of line, because I've got the and also, I've got the benefit of Mary, my ex-partner, the barrister, and I can ask her to calculate how much it'd be worth, and I can tell them the true value of the case.
Yeah.
And say it's not worth, like, I'm going to say, I'll go on record as saying we work for Slater and Gordon, and a bloke got this claim, he got 410,000, and on a first day mediation, they wanted to charge him 190 grand. I said, oh man, I rang up and I said, mate, what do you think this bloke's playing a poker machine? I said, mate, you're bigger robbers than I. Went off at this woman. I said, no, and she goes, no. And I said, and I calculated, and I said, I'm going to tell you how much this job's worth. And I had an invoice breakdown. And I said, and they, because they showed me theirs, and I said, no, it ain't worth $700 an hour, because you're talking to a legal secretary. It's worth about $130 an hour. And I broke it down, and I said, and that's the case. And, and the person in general who took the phone call was a legal secretary. You're not talking to a barrister for $600 an hour, so you're robbing him. Yeah. So we're off to a bad start. I broke down the invoice, and I got $90,000 taken off that bill. But by that, and I still had 60 grand in me to get off it, and he was just beating this bloke. He said, mate, just take it, Russell. I've had enough. And I said, mate, just let me fight for you for one more month, and I'll get another 60,000. He goes, Russell, I want nothing to do with these people, And he goes, I don't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck about the money, but I did for him, because he deserved as much money as he could to create new memories, and that's important. And I do it all the time. They ring me up and I'll say, what do you think about it? I'll say, that's dog shit. I'll get it calculated, and I come back with the lawyers, and they go, oh, he's right. Because lawyers will try any dirty trick, especially when it comes to, that's why, the publicly listed law firms, you got to be really careful, because they've got, shareholders to be, to answer to, but that doesn't mean they can rob them.